Alright, what's up everyone? This is all on my series of roster reviews to my guildies, and the second one on the list, as I'm trying to keep up to one a day, was Battalion, and this name's a lot easier than Soat's name is for me to pronounce. And what he was really looking at was to just kind of, I think if I had to just give his answered questions an overall review, it would be that really he just wants to keep on pace and doing what he was doing, but he's lost a little bit of interest and maybe lost a little bit of time, is able to put a little less money in it, whatever the case is, currently, as opposed to what he was doing. And you can kind of tell that by the roster, that this his roster indeed kind of, it has the resemblance of a whale roster. You have, you know, gear 12 all over the place. You got Django Fett even gear 12, General Grievous gear 12. You got the Zetas all over the place. It looks like definitely a roster that's not free to play. The gear 12s kind of set it off, but as he kind of stated in his questions, a little bit less availability now, a little bit less interest, and really, whenever you don't put those kind of whale dolphin investments into the game, you can really get off pace quickly if you're not consistently keeping up with the arenas. So overall, he rated his roster a 7, and I would even rate it a little bit higher than that, since he's just 3.6 million GP. I would say his roster's more towards an 8. And if you kind of dig into it, just first off, we take a look at the arena team. He's running a standard Jedi Revan team, and there's nothing wrong with that currently, as it can still climb all the way to number 1 if the RNG and the mods are right. But there are certainly better arena teams now that he could be running. And if we take a look in the inventory, we've got Darth Revan. And we'll head over to Sith Empire first. He has Darth Revan, HK-47, both with their Zetas. Darth Revan's only missing one. Bastila missing her Zeta, but gear 12. And Sith Marauder and Sith Trooper looks like he's working on Sith Trooper. That would be the arena team that he could use immediately and climb better than with the Jedi Revan team that he has right now. The full Sith Empire, you get the 50% crit damage bonus. One of the first things I would say in an overall roster review is get all of these Sith Empire characters operational. It's great that you got Sith Assassin 7-star, but the gear isn't there. Now let's bring her up to 85 and gear her. So at least she's gear 8 and viable, because these Sith Empire characters, I have a feeling, are going to be important, especially because of Malak that came into the game going forwards. And it's good to have extra Sith because they can be used with multiple leaders, Palpatine, even Zader, I mean tons of Sith leaders, Darth Maul, tons of Sith leaders. So to get all of these Sith Empire characters up to, playable, Sith Trooper, take him all the way to gear 12, so you have an immediate threat on offense with the Darth Revan lead, and no Darth Malak on this team. So it's offensively really not much different. It's all dependent upon speed, but defensively, certainly without Malak, these teams are going to fall a little bit harder. But I think you would fall less just running a full Sith Empire team than your current arena team of Jedi Revan. And if we take a look further into the Sith, you could put in Darth Sion and Darth Nihilus, which you already have gear 12, and instantly make that Darth Revan, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, HK-47, and followed in Bastila team an auto win against all the other Jedi Revan in your shard immediately right now. So that might be something to take a look at going forward, is to switch that arena team over to Darth Revan. You'll have easier time climbing, and you will hold better with Darth Revan generally than a Jedi Revan, especially using the standard Jedi Revan team. But it is a very specific team as far as running the one that I recommend right now. For mods, you need to have Darth Sion as your second fastest character. You need to have Bastila Shan, very important that her and Darth Nihilus go after Darth Sion so he can clear away all of the tenacity on the Jedi Revan teams. And then that's essentially it. You mod HK-47 for offense, Darth Revan just for purely speed, and as long as they go in the turn order of Darth Revan, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, Bastila Shan, and HK-47, you would be perfect with that team to climb an arena against all these Jedi Revans. And then, of course, if it comes down to mirror matches, you want to have the faster Bastila or the faster Revan, depending on what team you're going against. If you're going against an enemy Darth Revan team that has a very fast Darth Revan, but their Bastila Shan is not so fast, then you would want to take your fastest mod set and put it on your Bastila so you're faster than them. If you have a team that you're going against that has a very fast Bastila Shan but a slow Darth Revan, you want to get yours all to Darth Revan so you can shock as your first turn, and that will make the battle over in 30 seconds. But as a suggestion, just right away with the roster and the arena team, it looks like you're still competing near at the top. You're ranked mid 40s right now. I would definitely make that change because you'll have a better, easier time climbing and holding if you go to Darth Revan right now. As far as the fleets are concerned, ranked number 9 right now, so we're in the top 10 there. Definitely you got a 7-star Falcon, you're good to go. The rest of your fleet inventory, it's good to see you have Anakin all the way up, including the ship. You got good gear on all of the pilots it looks like that you're using. But again, we want to take those Geos up now. We want to get Geo Soldier, Sunfac, and Geo Spy ship and characters geared up to a minimum of Gear 8 and put some abilities on these ships because everybody just knows that we're going to be needing them for the Geo territory battle that's coming up. So it'd be a good idea to get those ships since you're already in the meta, you're already not struggling with anything. Now would be a great time to focus really on those ships and getting them up. And with the characters and getting them up. Because if you take a look at your whole roster as a whole, you don't have glaring holes, so to speak. So you can plan for the future right now. Just go right straight through here. We take a look at the bounty hunters. You have great bounty hunter team. You got Dengar, Gear 12, the double Zeta Django. You got Boba, you got Bosk. What I would suggest is try to get that Gear 11 on Aura. She's a great 5th for that team for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. Cad Bane is certainly serviceable though. At Gear 11, the stun comes in handy and the double hit, but I would definitely get Aura Singh as your 5th over any of the other ones, so you have a really lethal bounty hunter team when it comes to Grand Arena and Territory Wars. Clone Troopers, you're in really a great spot, a great situation whenever they come into the game. With the new territory battle, you already got them all 7-star, and you got Gear 12 Rex, Gear 11 Sarge, Gear 10 5s, and then Gear 8 Cody and Echo. So you're in a better position than most people right now with the Clone Troopers. So really nothing else to look at as far as they're concerned. The droids, I love that you have a double Zeta T3 and General Grievous. You immediately right now have a team that can kill any other team in the game on offense. You even got a 4-star Gear 9 Droidica. I mean, you could run, if you just bring IG-88 up, for instance, and you use IG-88 as your leader for droids because you want to keep HK with your Revan team. But if you just bring IG-88 up and you make him a leader, you say you gear him to maybe Gear 9 even, just get that last piece on him. He becomes your leader over General Grievous for the specific team that you want to annihilate everything. So IG-88 becomes your leader. Then you have Grievous with the double Zeta. You bring in IPD. You bring in B2 Super Battle Droid. You bring in B1 battle droid or even IG-100, and as soon as those droids start dying, Grievous is going to continue to take those turns, and he's going to be able to wreck, especially Darth Revan teams on offense, even in Arena, if you have them modded properly. So I would take a look at getting your IG-88 up to maybe even Gear 9 if you don't want to invest in him further than that, but just to make sure that his lead is all the way up, because that's the most important thing that you're going to have for him. Just because it's something other than Grievous lead. His lead is good, but it's not for that specific explosion team that I'm speaking of. You really want IG-88 or another droid to be your leader over Grievous, because you don't want to lose your droids all at the same time. But other than that, you look fine as far as droids are concerned. Going into Empire, you could really use a lot of work on your Empire. It looks like this is a faction, even though it's one of the most important factions in the game, that you really have not focused on. The great thing about it is you have everybody at 7 stars, but now you do want to put some more emphasis, especially on those troopers. And you had mentioned it in your questions, that troopers were something you really wanted to focus on. I would go right after General Veers, take them to Gear 11. You don't even need to take them to Gear 12 for them to be great. Gear 11 even. I run mine Gear 11, most of them. Take up General Veers, take up Range Trooper, take up Snow Trooper, take up Shore Trooper, and take up Colonel Stark, which is the most important of them all. Take those 5 up and you'll be set. Certainly you want to get their abilities and put some mods on them. It looks like right now you don't have mods on pretty much any of these guys, which even at the gear level you have them at, if you just throw any kind of random mods on them, you're going to be okay to mop up on B, C teams. So I would definitely look as you're working them and as you're working their gear to throw some mods on them and do some abilities with them. And that team can immediately start to take out some weaker teams or clean up something. Take a look at your Ewok. You're in great shape with them. I was looking through your roster as far as Ewok were concerned before I started to make this, and really you don't need to do or change another thing. Ewok Scout and Tebow are not needed for you. You got a perfect Ewok team. First Order, you definitely, like your Empire, have a lot of opportunity with them. I would put First Order behind Aura Singh and behind Troopers. I don't think that they're as good a team as Imperial Troopers, especially. You got them all 7-star that are important. So I would work on specifically Kylo Ren Unmasked, First Order Executioner, probably First Order Officer, but do them after you finish Troopers, because Troopers are going to be much more better for you with an immediate return on that investment than First Order is going to be. First Order, make them a longer priority. Do Imperial Troopers before them. Take a look at your Galactic Republic. You got Anakin Gear 12, which certainly you could take him right now and put him in your arena team, and then you wouldn't even have to change to Darth Revan. I still recommend changing to Darth Revan because I believe they're going to end up nerfing Anakin. But you could get an immediate return on investment right now if you run Anakin in your arena team instead of Bastila. I think Anakin is better in that 5-some than Bastila. You could also switch out GK, but personally I think Bastila, leaving that team and Anakin going into it, is going to be better against the Darth Revans. So you could pretty much make that swap right now and immediately have an easier to climb with Team and Arena. But again, I still overall would rather to see you have Darth Revan as opposed to the Jedi Revan team. Other than that, not much to say here. You got them, most of them 7-star if we ever need them. Plo Koon would be a good one, maybe to gear at your leisure, but definitely not a priority. And since you have Ahsoka already at gear 11, and you have Anakin, and you have General Kenobi, you could really look to give Ahsoka a Zeta on down the road and make a great A to B team for Territory Wars and Grand Arena by giving her the Zeta, and probably put her under a Rex lead or maybe a General Kenobi lead if you take him out of your Jedi Revan team, for maybe maybe even Mace Windu or something, because if you're running especially for offense, you don't need so much. So I would maybe look at on down the line of getting Ahsoka Tano, her Zeta, and I'm running it on my alt account, and I do have to say I really like it a lot. And Geos, as I had already mentioned, make sure you get Geo Soldier up to 7 stars, keep farming him in the arena store, and really try to get them all up to at least gear 8 with their abilities done. That way you have them prepared whenever we start the territory battle. The Imperial Troopers I've already went over, you know what you need to do with that one. First priority I would make would be Colonel Stark. He would be the very first one that I would do out of the group because he's immediately going to make you more dangerous. And then I would go down the line from there. It really doesn't matter. They're all important, but Colonel Stark would be the first one I would do, so then you could slap some mods on them and make them viable. Night Sisters, you also have an opportunity. Realistically, again, it would be another on down the road project, even after First Order, probably, because you have no Zetas either on your Night Sisters. And really, to make them viable, you need at least a leadership Zeta, either on Asajj or Talzin, and you need at least Gear 10 Zombie, which you're lacking all of those things. So that would be another project on down the road sometime around whenever you would get to First Order. You don't need to make them all nuts and go Gear 12 with them, but, you know, Gear 10 through 11 and the Zeta on either Asajj or Talzin lead, and make sure you have Gear 10 Zombie. But again, make that on down the road after your projects that you're already going for now. Old Republic, you know what you need to do with them in order to get prepared for Malak next time. You know that there's opportunities there, but I do like that you have the Zeta already on Karth, and you got mission to Gear 12. It's just really about taking Zalbar to Gear 11, Gear 12, and Canderous or Juhani, either one, but you know what you need to do for them. That obviously has to be a priority, as you don't know exactly when Darth Revan and Malak are going to come back, but I don't think that it's any immediate threat. Like, you know, next week you'd have to be ready for it. So just continue to work at them as you go. Phoenix, I can't stand, so I don't even really like to discuss them. But, you know, you have a competent team, it seems like. We go through, take a look at Resistance. You have a very good Resistance squad, but we know that Episode 9's coming out. It might be a good idea to farm Holdo, using the 5 hard nodes per day. She is a really great character, and she takes a long time to farm, so I would maybe start on Amilyn Holdo, just in case something comes up in the future with Resistance and a legendary or something like that, or an event where you need, you know, more Resistance characters from the movie. However that's going to work. Finn, though, would be my first priority in Resistance right now, because you have everybody else geared. Finn, take him right to Gear 11. You won't regret it. He's great in the raids, and he's a great, competent tank now in a JTR lead. So I would take Finn up to Gear 11 at some point in time. Scoundrels, you could use some work on some of your lower tiered guys, but not a big priority. As I said, other than right now you want to get Aura Singh up. You have Nest already Gear 12 with the Zeta, so you don't need to do anything with them. You have L3 with Gear 12. The biggest priority I would go here, again, is Aura Singh, just to complete your really lethal bounty hunter team. We've already gone over the Sith. It looks like you're in good shape. Otherwise, again, though, just work on that Sith Trooper. Get him all the way up to Gear 12. And Sith Assassin, you want to get her to Gear 7, Gear 8 with her abilities done. Because it's great to have another Sith like her viable for her turn meter when it comes to territory wars. The biggest thing, though, that I would tell you is, even though they nerfed this Zeta, it's still one of the top 3 Zetas, in my opinion, in this game. Emperor Palpatine, got to do that leadership Zeta. I would put that as a very high priority. I would put that Zeta actually as after you finish Darth Revan's, after you get his leadership ability done. I would do Emperor Palpatine right after that. You won't regret doing it, and you'll have another very great team for territory war and galactic battles. I would do Darth Revan lead first, then Emperor Palpatine lead after that. That would be my next 2 Zetas if I were you. And really not much to say otherwise other than that. The roster is solid, and again, it just comes down to what you're willing to put into it with time and resources at this time. But again, as I stress for our guild as a whole, overall, the mods that you have, they're acceptable. Like 139, it looks like is your top set. 3PO, he's got 77 speed on him. All of your mods that you have, they're correctly placed. You have, 2 health with 4 offense on your HK-47. He's got a lot of damage, lots and lots of offense you put on him. That's great. Yeah, I like that you have your mods organized. Defense and health sets on Bosk. That's great. Take a look at his speed. 78, his speed can come up a little bit, but I see what you've done. You've made him more tanky. That's fantastic. On CLS, you put all health sets on him. There's nothing wrong with that as backup mods. He's doing fine. Django, you've got even some 6 dots on him. You've got him really modded well. It looks like you have your mods pretty much equally laid out to be what you need. Got some good offense on Yoda, really good offense on Yoda. As far as your top end characters, you got your mods laid out really, really well. What I see as an opportunity for you is you just need more mods. You go through this and we look at even Ahsoka, she's got some. You got about halfway through your roster, your mods are fine, and then we start to take turns towards the worst in the second half of your roster. I really think and some of them don't even have mods, I really think you need to focus maybe 2 refreshes a day, just farming mods. I would do speed mods and I would do crit damage mods to start. It looks like your 2 biggest opportunities. I would just put 2 refreshes every day and just focus on farming mods so you can fill up your roster to have mods on everybody, even these characters that you don't really use, because it helps us for GP as far as territory battle is concerned. It'll help you if you really have to throw kitchen sink at something in Grand Arena. I would make sure to get all of these characters with mod sets on them. Level 15 mods don't have to be, they could even be grays, just as long as you have them all filled up. And I do understand you might be doing it to keep yourself in a lower Grand Arena matchup, but realistically, that's not going to make a big difference for you. What will make a big difference is having mods on even these crap characters for if the situation ever comes up or you need cleanups, you have them available for you. I really wouldn't try to limit myself because of Grand Arena placement. Get mods on all of those characters. 100 crystals a day, farm 1 refresh of crit damage from the other refresh of speed, and I think you would be good to go. So as far as your overall roster is concerned, I give it an 8 at your current GP. I hope I answered all the questions that you've come up with, and I hope I've given you some direction. We got Aura Singh as the bounty hunter. We have your arena team that we're working on. We have your long-term goals with Night Sisters and First Order. And again, continuing the pace on the Old Republic so you can finish them out, Darth Malak next time. I do love one thing in particular, though, your Visas Mar. I like that you have her zated. She's going to be great for raids that come along. Any healer is good. And also we have direction as far as your Zetas are concerned. Now going forward, you want to finish Darth Revan and then Emperor Palpatine right after that was what I would do. So hopefully you've learned something from the review. I hope anyone that listens gets something from it. And overall, great job. Look forward to seeing after these changes come out, or if you decide to go with the changes or not, or direction. I look forward, regardless, to seeing the progress of your roster, because you really have something going that's great right now, and you just have to continue to keep it up. So that's all. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.